So hello there, yet another video. So we're going to look at something very small. So when you go and set up your RAS system project and you want to set up a dynamic table row. So if you come here, I'm going to categories, this is the table I'm working with, and I go to form layout, there are these options here. So if you put the dynamic table layout, the one where you have to click on this button to add a few items, okay? So technically what I want to do is, instead of binding this event field in my events page, I want to kind of select which field I want here, and I want every time I click on add, this field is going to be auto-populated, because when I select one, let me show you what I mean. So if I select this field here and I click on next, technically I just want to update this data in the same field, or rather have the same event field when I'm adding it. But now when I click on new ones, this field is not auto-populated. So I want, whenever I click on it, it fills itself. So that's something that we are going to be looking at right now. So how you do this is you go to your methods. Let's go to form layout here. So I want to go to my add page and manually edit this page, and you can regenerate this page. So we're going to go to the app page, and what we want to do is add on that. Basically we want to add that. I'm going to also show you how to make this button bigger. So we're going to start with the button, and I'm going to come here and add a class. So I'm going to come here and say class, and then we're going to say full width. So full width basically tells this button I want you to stretch all the way up to the size of the card. And we can also do a padding, so it's going to be QPA small, so that you can make the button a little bit bigger. And I don't want the icon, I really don't like the icon. And here you can come here and say create categories like that. Awesome. Now let's go to our JavaScript. Now in our JavaScript, this is what we are going to be adding. So I want, every time I click on this button here, I want it to add that data. Okay, so I want this field to be populated. So we do that by listening to our code here. So this is the array that is holding our array of data. So it's an array, and now we have inside our methods, we have this function which is being triggered every time we click on add button. So you see, whenever we click on add a new formula, a new object is created called new form data, which event ID, the event ID is a field that I'm using for the select. Okay, so the event ID is being equated to empty. You see, so it's equating to empty, and the name is also empty. That's why whenever we click on add new, everything starts anew as empty. So instead of doing that, we want to update using the upper one, the one that is before, right before this. So that's what we want to populate with. We're just going to come here, delete this. Okay, now we're going to go all the way up to where we have our data function, which is form array data. So copy form array data. Now remember, this is an array, and we want the first entrance of the array. Now arrays start from 0 going upwards, so our first record is going to be of array number 0. We're going to go back to where we have this, where we just went to add form. We are going to come here, and we are going to copy paste that form array. Now remember, this is an array, so we have to give the position of the index. So we're going to click, so we want it to be the first one. So array start from 0 going 1, 2, 3 all the way up. So our first one is 0, and we want to now assign which object it is, which is the event ID. So the event ID, the one that is the first one, we want to populate it here. We're just going to come here and say dot event ID, copy paste that. So let's click on publish and see if we can actually get this to work the way we want. So let us see. So this one should be able to display all the changes we have made and see what we can see. All right, so here we go. So I just changed. Let me just confirm something here. Yeah, the button has to be full width, not full width, so that it can stretch all the way up to the end. But you can see the padding has changed, so it will be bigger. So now when we add on it, there you go. So when we add on it, when you click on add, you see it's going to create an empty one. Let me see. All right, there might be an issue. Let me check that real quick. Let's go to array from data 0 event. Yeah, this should be okay. Let me just check and return back. All right, so here's a problem right here. So every time you're trying to access anything in the data function, it always starts with the prefix of this dot. So you're just going to come here and add this dot array from data index 0 dot event id. So let's see. All right, so we have that now. So if we try and click on this, it should now be able to add an extra form there. So remove it. Now, one thing you need to do now is, first of all, you need to enter the first red that you're looking up. So if you select it, let's see. Just a little bit. Okay, so we had to log out and log in again. So now if you add this field there and you click on add an event, it should automatically bottom here. As you can see, it's filled itself. Now if you click again, it should also automatically fill itself at the bottom there. So there you go. So you can add as much as you want. So it's technically up to you. And that's basically how you do it. So in case you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below and I'll try and answer all of them. So see you in the next one.